So for the Raw Women's Championship, it was Asuka versus Sasha Banks. A brilliant match. Absolutely amazing match. I loved watching these two work together. We said on the live stream last night, God, it's just good to see like Sasha in a pay-per-view singles match. Oh, it was just
absolutely
terrific
killing it.
Yeah, just working their asses off, doing great stuff. But we did have an incredibly convoluted finish, which kind of started with Banks at one point sort of buckling off the top turnbuckle, or the middle turnbuckle rather, and it was the match sort of stopped and ground to a halt for a little bit, but they carried on. So I think Banks may have just tweaked her leg somewhat, which made her fall. But she kind of screamed that she was going to continue. They did. I think she sold it very well that if this was a story like purpose, that actually the selling of it was incredible. I totally bought into it. And then we got a series of belts being thrown in. We had Kairi Sane and we had Bayley. We had Asuka tried to miss Sasha Banks, and she missed the referee instead. We had Banks tapping out to the Asuka lock, and then Bayley just puts on the referee shirt and counts the 3. They don't ring the bell.
Asuka with the bell in the back.
Yeah. They don't ring the bell. They don't play her music. And then Bayley runs over to the timekeeper and yells at him to ring the bell, which he does. And then she gives Sasha Banks the Raw Women's Championship. They play Sasha Banks' music and they just leave.
Yeah.
And it just made everyone go, huh. So is she the champion now? But you know what? You have to tune into Raw to find out.
Oh man, it's like it just undoes the work, doesn't it? I feel like because yeah. I think that I do think that description of it being an NXT-quality match with a WWE-quality finish is correct, because that finish it clunked so hard to get there as well. Like that, whether or not that was a legit tweak of the knee, or whether that was part of the storyline they were telling. Like before that, everything that was happening was just pure poetry. It was so good. They kept selling these German suplexes. Like they kept threatening to do them off the apron. Sasha kept threatening the sunset flip power bomb as well off the apron, and then finally hit it to Asuka onto the plexiglass. Like then Asuka starts hitting these crazy deadlift Germans. Like she tried to do one from the outside inside. That didn't work very well. But then she just picked Sasha up and was like, well, do another one then. And dumps her on the back of her head. Sasha's flopping around like folded up like a concertina. And then she does it again. And there's one off the top. And that's the one where she flips out and she lands on her knee. And I think that if that is a legitimate knee tweak, that might be the moment where it happens. But they worked together so well in this match, and they just did so many good spots. This was so easily above a higher quality than anything else that happened on the show so far at this point. And I think everything else that happened on the show beyond finishes was really, really good. But this stood out to me as just exceptional wrestling. It really was. And then, the finish was so overbaked that I was just like, I can't keep up with what they think is happening.
It didn't help that it came off the back of the Apollo Crews MVP thing and then the Eye thing. I think just it coming as sort of the final part of that trilogy of sort of, bad or non-finishes just made it seem worse. On any other night, I don't think this would have been an issue. But when you're doing it in the MVP Apollo Crews feud, and then you're also doing this eye for an eye shtick with the terrible rubbish fake eye, it is going to stick out, and I just don't think it's going to work. And I know some people have made reference to, it's One Night Stand 2006. They're just doing that. It's not the same thing. A, no one liked that finish either, and said it didn't make sense. B, Paul Heyman was the authority figure. He was the guy running the joint, so he can make those rules. Bayley's not running the show. She's not the authority figure. She has no authority, so it makes even less sense.
If it is literally as simple as putting on a referee's t-shirt, why isn't everyone doing it? Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't make any sense that Asuka just sat there at the end and was like, "Oh, okay, that's done then."
Yeah.
Why wasn't she chasing after them? It's like a hostage situation. The 24/7 title has had more people desperate to get it back more than this apparent loss of the Raw Women's Championship. I don't know. It's just like a finish in which you go, okay, well, Bayley chucks a title into the ring to distract the referee. The referee's like, oh, get that title out of the ring. Meanwhile, another title is in the ring, and Sasha Banks is holding it. Then the referee are having a tug of war. Meanwhile, Asuka's getting given a mist capsule by Kairi Sane, pops the mist in, mists the referee, gets the Asuka lock. There's an unseen tap out. So there's a visual win for Asuka. Bayley then gets in the ring and hits Asuka. Pulls the referee's shirt off, counts the pin. So many bits of it. It's just like, and another thing that's like, it's the if there's a clean finish in which someone just gets pinned, this is the dirtiest finish you could do. It's just like there's so much muckiness covering up this what should be a really simple, like even just Sasha saying she's won and taking the belt. There's enough in that, like. But
then that also raises questions of like, why wasn't there another ref? Like, why didn't another ref run down to be like, well, hang about, you're not an authority figure, because Sasha's not the champion. Asuka is still the champion. So, like, the finish means absolutely diddly dick. So, if the finish wasn't actually a finish, why wasn't there a referee to come down and be like, well, hang about, this match didn't get a finish. You're not a referee. This match should still be carrying on. It should be continuing.
Why is Charlie Caruso on hand to clear up Rey Mysterio's eye still working, but not to clear up this thing? That's what I want. Like, barely investigative journalism there, Charlie.